Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 text 9 onwards. ठीक है. संजय उवाच एवं उक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेश परन्तप नायोत्स्य इति गोविन्द मुक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः. Sanjay said, Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Okay, so 2.7 Arjuna says that so 2.7 Arjuna says that I am not able to understand things and I don't know, I am confused whether I should fight or I should not fight. That was his confusion. Okay, so for that Arjuna says, Krishna, now onwards I am your disciple, you kindly consider me as your disciple and become my guru, and then you please explain me what I must do. Okay, so that was the point here. Okay, yesterday we discussed from the purport of 2.8 that how Prabhupada was explaining the importance of Vedic knowledge, you know. So okay, so in 2.8, which was yesterday's verse, Arjuna reconfirms his complete dependency and faith, and he says that there is no other way to derive away my miseries, my anxieties, my grief, you know. So now in 2.9 says that only way to curb our lamentation is take shelter of Krishna, like Arjuna did. Okay, so let us see what Prabhupada says in purport. Prabhupada says Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. Because Arjuna says, my dear Krishna, better I go and beg and manage myself because I cannot fight. So Dhritarashtra must be very happy. But Sanjay disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies. Parantapaha. So the words are very important here. And that's why Prabhupada is bringing our attention to the each and every word. So this word here says Parantapaha. Okay, Parantapa means that Arjuna is still Parantapa. He is still able to kill his enemies. Although Arjuna for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, for time being he came in that family affection. Okay, but he surrendered unto Krishna now. Okay, now Arjuna has already surrendered to Krishna. Okay, so there is Krishna is Supreme Master and Arjuna now is disciple. So this is indicating that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness and would then surely fight. Thus Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Okay, so Sanjay is saying that he said, see, Arjuna explained his problem and he is no more going to fight and he is ready to go and back. So Dhritarashtra may get very happy, very glad. But at the same time, Arjuna, Sanjay saying that don't worry, Arjuna is confused, he is in lamentation, he is attached to his family, he is getting confused about his duty. But the best part here is that Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. If the voice clear now? Huh? So that is in Zoom some problem. Internet is on? Oh, okay, there is some problem. Yes. Huh? Aapka? So I got disconnected. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now I hope audio will be clear. So Sanjay is saying that it may be the thing that Arjuna is confused for time being. What happened? Internet. चल रहा है? Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay. So Arjuna. So Sanjay is saying that, but you should not be too happy. Dhritarashtra, Arjuna is confused. But the main point here is that Arjuna has already surrendered to Krishna. So because Arjuna has already surrendered to Krishna, there is full chance that Krishna, because he is Supreme Master, he is the Supreme God, he knows he can enlighten anybody anytime. So because Arjuna surrendered, he is now disciple, and Krishna is very soon going to give him the enlightenment, the knowledge, and his all the ignorance, all the anxiety, lamentation will be dispelled, and Arjuna will fight, and he is still Parantapa. Means he still has the ability, the capability to kill, to subdue, to finish his enemies. So do not become too glad, like that he is saying. Okay, don't get too glad that I will now my sons, the Duryodhana and all will become kings. Okay, don't be too happy. So Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. So don't think that Arjuna has said ki I will not fight, so he will not fight. He will fight because Krishna is there. So that is the word Parantapa, chastiser of enemy. So purposefully the words, those all words, like other day Gudakesha, Rishikesha, Parth, all the words are coming here with the meaning. It's not like just somebody saying any name of anyone. No. So even nowadays in our present situation, sometimes people uses out of some quality, because of some quality of a person, they give him some name. So that's what Arjuna name is, Parantapa. Okay. So 3 effects of surrender which will manifest in Arjuna. When same way, like if we also Haribol Suraj Prabhu, oh my God, Suraj Prabhu, Haribol, वो आप कुछ इंटरनेट यूज कर रहे क्या? आ नहीं रहा इंटरनेट आपका, डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा है बार बार. कम हियर.
इतना डिस्टेंस में तो होना चाहिए ना.
दोनों सम प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है.
इसका स्पीड बढ़ा देता हूँ.
इंटरनेट का कुछ ज़्यादा ही प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. Okay, so when somebody surrenders to Krishna or to spiritual master, then three effects will come. What is that? First is enlightenment. So these three effects are going to come to Arjuna because he has already surrendered to Krishna. Same way when we surrender to Guru, these three enlightenment will come. Three effect. First is enlightenment. Second is freedom from false lamentation. False lamentation. Okay. And so first one person is enlightened. Okay. He is enlightened. Okay. So three effects. When a person surrenders to Guru, he will get three effects of surrender. So Arjuna, because he has accepted Krishna as his Guru, he is going to get these three effects. First is enlightenment. Second is freedom from false lamentation. Third is reinstatement in his own duty. So, because the point is here, because of ignorance or lack of knowledge, one forgets his real duty. Arjuna forget his real duty, we also forget our real duty. That our real duty is to serve Krishna. So, the darkness of ignorance has covered our true intelligence, our real identity, real understanding. So, when we surrender to Guru or Krishna, first effect is enlightenment. Means we get the prakash. Jnananjana Shalakaya. So we get enlightenment. And when this enlightenment comes, that means true knowledge, spiritual knowledge comes, then we are able to see what is what. In a Shastric way. With the Shastra Chakshu, we are able to see. So now when I am seeing somebody as my brother, as my mother, as my father, as my wife, as my husband, then when I get scriptural knowledge, Shastra Chakshu, through enlightened knowledge, when I see, then I see them as part and parcel of God, Krishna. And all are equal for me, and then I serve them. Now I am trying to serve them as my brother because he is my brother, he is my mother, he is my wife's husband or whatever. Bodily connection. But after getting enlightenment, one sees them with spiritual connection. I am part and parcel of Krishna, other person is also part and parcel of Krishna, but in this lifetime, this particular soul is having a role of my father or my husband or my wife or my child. Makes sense? So when enlightenment comes, then we get this freedom from false lamentation. Because this false lamentation is coming because of false understanding of our identity, false relationship, all these things based on material knowledge. So the lamentation is also false because the lamentation we are having is based on material knowledge. So when I get enlightenment, I get freedom from false lamentation. Because I am lamenting for what? Something I have lost. Arjuna is lamenting for what? I will lose my uncle, my grandfather, my maternal uncle, my cousins, my relatives. That's what is lamentation. But when you come in the true knowledge, who is whose? No relationship. When I born, no relationship. Then only they said, this is your father, this is your mother, this is your uncle, this, that, all. Before that, who was that? Nobody knows. Maharaja Chitraketu was crying and Naradji said, okay, I will bring back your son. And the son who was dead, he came back alive. And he was speaking, why you called me? Naradji said, Arey, this your parents are crying like anything. You left them. Please talk to them. The son is saying, okay, so please tell me, which parents are you? So the Chitraketu got confused. Arey, my son asking me like which parents I am, like you have so many parents. Yeah, of course I have so many parents. I lived millions of life. And every lifetime I was having some parents. So who are you? Which lifetime wala parents are you? I will talk to you accordingly. I don't remember you are my parents because he is saying you are my parents, so I am my parent. But please tell me Which life? He said, just 5 minutes back you died, man. So that also I don't know. You have to prove. So that they got, Naradji got this kind of trick to give them the true knowledge, freedom from false lamentation. They were lamenting, oh, my son died, my son died. What son, what mother, what father? Everything bodily relationship. So when the spiritual master gives knowledge, we get true understanding. And our lamentation is finished. False lamentation. And sometime true lamentation will come. Lamentation of being separated from our Krishna, our eternal master. We have eternal relationship with Krishna. When we realize that original relation with Krishna, then we will be crying for Krishna. That's why there's a cry for Krishna. His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj used to say, cry. Then those people, they day and night they are crying because they are away from Krishna. We are very happy that we are away from Krishna, because we are away from Krishna, so we can nicely enjoy sense gratification. So we are happy. And when our sense gratification is disturbed, we are lamenting. Why somebody is crying? Because somebody's father, somebody's son is dying, they are crying because that person was giving them some sense gratification. And now it is going to be stopped. So they are crying, Arey Baba, my sense gratification is stopped. Now who will give me sense gratification? You are dying. That's what the problem is. Some people even while crying near a dead body, when they cry, they say also, Arey, now who will bring me new sari? Who will bring me this? Who will bring me that? Arey, just see this small baby, who will give his school fee? Like that. Arey, when you were young, you used to take me every Sunday multiplex to watch movies. Now who will take? So it's all your problem. Your sense gratification stuff, so you are crying. The fellow is died, that nobody is lamenting for that. Right? So this is the thing. So when first effect of surrender is enlightenment. You can note down. Second effect, next it says, when you get enlightenment, we get freedom from false lamentation. And when we get freedom from false lamentation, we are reinstated in our own duty, our original duty. That is service to Krishna. Serve Krishna, please Krishna. That's our original duty. So here Arjuna is going to be enlightened by Krishna, and then he will be free from false lamentation of these relatives and all, and he will be reinstated his own duty, which is fight for Krishna. Krishna wants him to fight. So he will fight. So in this way, Sanjay is giving him this idea to Dhritarashtra, that don't worry, don't be so happy that Arjuna is saying no, he will fight. He is still Parantapa. Okay. Now, next shloka, Sanjaya will inform that Arjuna spoke like this. So now Krishna is going to speak and going to give the knowledge. Okay. Point 10. Okay. So let us see what 2.10 is saying. तमुवाच ऋषिकेश प्रहसन्निव भारता सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तम् इदं वचः. O descendant of Bharat, at that time Krishna is smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to grief-stricken Arjuna. The talk was going on between intimate friends, namely Rishikesha and okay. One is Rishikesha, one is Gunakesha. As friends, both of them were on the same level because they are friends. But one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. Suppose you are your close friend comes, "Arey Baba, now you are my guru, please explain." You will also smile like that. Okay. So anyway, the point here is very important, that when somebody is more enlightened than us, more advanced in spirituality than us, then we should not see that I am a senior, I am elder, I am father, I am mother. Sometimes, small kids will chant nicely and they will say to father, "Hey, you should not smoke, Bhagavad Gita, it is said it's wrong, you will get karma." Father will say, "You are teaching me, eh? Well, what is your age? Just see. I am your father, you are teaching me." Like that is say. So, because they cannot digest this thing, this fellow is teaching me. But real humble person, he will accept the knowledge from anyone. Anyone. In Bhagavatam, one personality, he has even 26 guru. He is even making a prostitute as his guru. He is learning from even honey bee. You understand? So, best example is Mata Devahuti. You just see the photo, she is sitting down and her son is sitting on above, like on a platform, and Vyasasana, and she is folding hand, and you read the verses, "My dear master, my dear Lord," like that she is addressing her own son. Imagine. Now who is already a mother, they can imagine like this for a moment, talking to their own son or daughter like this: "My dear master, you are supreme Lord, you are my Lord, please accept my obeisance." Problems will come by thinking itself, how I can. But Mother Devahuti is doing that and getting enlightened from Lord Kapila, her own son. Devahuti Nandan he is. But one place is Devahuti Nandan, another way he is Devahuti's guru. So Prabhupada writes wonderful purports there, that a person should not see all these things, you're older, elder, or what you are, high caste, low class, Indian, American. Some people say, this is American guru, he's not good. We will take Diksha from Indian guru. What is this? So some people say, no, he is born in a low class family, he is not good guru. No, we should never see. Somebody may say, "Arey, I am 60-year-old, how can I take Diksha from this 30-year-old man?" But you see, those time after Prabhupada, many of our Prabhupada disciples, when they gave Diksha, they were like very young. And so many people, they came and took Diksha, they were like double age of, like even in case of my spiritual master, Jayapada Swami Maharaj, many of his disciples were double age. So like that. Okay. So Krishna is smiling here because his friend became now his disciple voluntarily. So as Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone. Anyway, he is supreme master, and yet the Lord agrees to be a friend. This is another greatness of Lord, that he is whether you accept or don't accept, he is supreme master, but out of his mercy he accepts to become a friend of his devotee, or a son or a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as the master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master, with gravity as it is required. So he is not now, no more joke, no more kidding. He also took the position of guru and started enlightening the disciple Arjuna. So it appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies, so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear them. Okay, so everybody, Bhagavad Gita is for everyone, whether they are Indian, whether they are enemy, whether they are American, Pakistani, Hindu, Muslim. For Bhagavad Gita is for everyone. In Krishna in Bhagavad Gita never says that this instruction is for Hindu, this instruction is for Indian. No. Krishna says this instruction is for humans, Manushyanam, or Jiva. So when he says Jiva, all the living entities are included, including rat or animal or birds, bees, all things, fishes and all. When he says Manushya, humans are included. Whether he is Indian, American, doesn't matter. Whether Hindu, Muslim, Pakistani, Christian, Sikh, doesn't matter. Okay, North Indian, South Indian, doesn't matter. White skin, black skin, doesn't matter. Men, women, doesn't matter. Manushya. So in this way Krishna is going to start. So tomorrow onwards this shloka 11th we'll take, where basically main knowledge now will start from 11 or mainly 13 onwards. The perfect things are going to come, very very basics. From 13 to around like 27 28 some shloka, main knowledge like the foundation of spiritual knowledge is going to come. So we have to be very alert and regular in the classes. And like for a building, the foundation is main thing, right? If it is strong, then you can, because many people they do big pujas and all, but their foundation is not clear, so they get lamentation and all those problems when there is some real thing happens in their life. Okay, so summary of this 2.10 is that Krishna accepts role as per devotee's desire. So here devotee desired that Krishna should be his guru, so he became his guru. Okay. And Bhagavad Gita, another important point is Bhagavad Gita is spoken between two armies. Anybody can read, anybody can take benefit from Bhagavad Gita. Okay, thank you so much. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anand Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Any question, comment is there, kindly you can share. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for